What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so as a lot of you know, we have the 250th YCS coming up this weekend. So I want to go ahead and put on a list of my 5 cards that I feel that will be very good for the side slash main deck. There's 3 cards that I have for the side deck, and then 2 cards that I have for the main deck. These are cards that some that I haven't talked about. Some some I have, some I haven't talked about. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these cards. If you like what we do here, please feel free to like and subscribe. If not, it's all cool. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Want to do a giveaway and all the major milestones. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the cards. Okay, so the first card that I have on the list is Dimensional Shifter. Now, there hasn't really been a lot of talk, with Dimensional Shifter lately, but I feel that this is a card that could catch a lot of people off guard, especially this. Also, keep in mind, this is not 100% only for top tier events. These also could be used at your locals, especially this card, because this is something that's more of a check for rogue. Pretty much there's a lot of rogue decks that really utilize the graveyard. Right now you have Kashtira as the top dog, and then you kind of have Brandon and Sword Soul. Those are other contenders. There's a lot of other decks. You got Trap Tricks, Labyrinth. You've also seen a couple of variants of Runic out there. So you have a lot of different decks, not only kind of in the top range, but you do also have a lot of rogue stuff. I know there's Math Mech and also different Runic variants that very much rely on the graveyard. So having Dimensional Shifter in your side deck could be something that just really catches people off guard, because people are going to be playing triple Tactics Talent, so they do have main deck counters, but that's that's pretty much for any, that's for any hand trap. This is specifically just for the rogue matchup. You don't want to put this in your main deck, because if you run into a Kashtira player, this is completely dead and you're just going to be giving them a lot of free pluses. That is not what you really want to do. So this is just for if you you're there and you know that you have a bad time against Runic and you just want to get rid of it, you would just go ahead and play the Dimensional Shifter. Evenly Matched is another card that I really feel would be good in the side deck. There's a lot of people that are already playing in the side deck, so I'm not gonna sit there and say that oh yeah, people aren't playing it, but I just want to make sure that, hey, if you are not running Evenly Matched, I have no idea what you're doing. Evenly Matched is one of the best cards, because it's one of those cards that essentially affect the player. It doesn't necessarily affect any of the monsters, so it could bypass a lot of things, and it's just a very much a blowout card, and you know that your opponent's gonna have it, so you just don't want to be caught without it. I just want to throw it out there. Everyone needs to get themselves Evenly Matched. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. I have not talked about this card in a long time, and it was brought up to me in some other videos that I was watching, I was listening to at work, and I'm just this is very good against the Kashtira matchup. But not only against the Kashtira matchup, it's good against Brandon, it's good against Sword Soul, it's even good against Labyrinth. You have multiple different decks that actually are affected by Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. I'm gonna read the effect of this card for those that might be listening, or those who just don't maybe just haven't heard of the card in a while. It's level 6 or higher special summon monsters on the field cannot declare attacks, nor can players activate their effects. This is another card that'll affect the player. So if they try to bring out some crazy unaffected monster that can't be affected by card effects, this is not specifically affecting the monster. It is affecting the player. So it's just kind of one of those things to where someone playing Sword Soul might it's still a floodgate, so they're gonna have their basic generic outs for it, but maybe they're not really expecting it, because they're sitting there thinking okay, yeah, I'm gonna be ready for them to activate Ash Blossom, or I'm gonna be ready for an Infinite Impermanence. They might not be ready for a Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. So I would just go ahead and very much kind of keep this card in mind right here. Forbidden Lands. Okay, so the first 3 cards that I talked about were amazing for the side deck. Those are not cards that you want to have in the main deck. So Dimensional Shifter, Evenly Matched, and Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. These are cards that are mostly relegated to the side deck. Maybe a small exception for Evenly Matched. There is a bit of an argument for running this in your main deck for more of the surprise factor, but at the same time, you're not always guaranteed to go second. So this is very much more at home in the side deck. But now going on to the main deck cards, Forbidden Lands is a game changer for me. I was having such a problem with Infinite Impermanence, but now that I've added Forbidden Lance into my deck, not only am am I no longer really afraid of it as long as I get it. But I'm also figuring out that there's a lot of interactions that players simply are not ready for, especially when they're like, okay, I'm just gonna attack with this, this monster to try to get over, this thing to progress my game state. And you could actually save those monsters and put your opponent in these awkward positions, like, oh wow, I lost this monster, I had plays to use that effect or use this monster, or I needed him. And it's like, I don't know. I really like Forbidden Lands because it also catches like a lot of other people off guard. They might sit there and try to hit you with lightning storm. You could you could save your monster. You could say, like I said, you could use it also in the battle phase and in the damage step to bring down the attack points of your opponent's monster while they're attacking. Pretty much there'll be almost nothing they can do about it at that point. So it becomes a very niche form of removal, and then it does protect you against infinite impermanence. So like if you're going first and you're like me, I was set up to stop hand traps, but I kept getting just completely walled by infinite impermanence, and second I put in Forbidden Lance, that I no longer have that problem if I get Lance. So I really feel like Lance in the main deck could be a bit of a game changer. Maybe not the ultimate game changer, but very much something to watch out for, and maybe something you want to try out. Maybe play test it a little bit today. I'm going to be releasing this video Friday morning, so that way people will have time, for those that watch it. So yeah, I keep Forbidden Lance in my head as if you're not sure about certain cards. And then the last card I want to talk about is Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So the reason why I'm bringing this card up is because I started playing different variants in my Runic deck, and currently I'm playing Runic for Hire, and Runic for Hire just has the ability to get out really good boards, but also has the ability to get out just I'll call them useless bodies, useless monsters. Essentially, they're monsters that could essentially bring themselves out, or bring them, or be special summoned by the effect of other of the other ones that you could combo off, to where maybe at the end of your combo you only need 2 of them, and then you end up with you end up with the ability to get more monsters, and then then a body or 2. I've kind of found that running Underworld Goddess of the Closed World gives me the ability to take my opponent's monsters and turn them into her. And it's something that I kind of realized that, hey, you know what, there's actually a lot of towers kind of monsters, not a lot, but there are some really hard to deal with tower monsters, especially if you're branded, you're playing the Red Ice Dark Dragoon. So you essentially have the Red Ice Dark Dragoon there, and he's very hard to deal with. Essentially how this works is you are able to conduct its effect allows you to conduct a link summon. So it isn't really affecting it with a monster effect. The monster effect allows you to conduct a link summon using that monster. So it gets around so many different kind of special and niche removals. On top of that, if you link it with the IP Masquerena, it gets a lot of protection, and then it has the ability to negate. Let's see. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect that special summon monsters from the graveyard, quick effect, you gain the activation. And then also, this monster, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. So if you combine this with IP Masquerena and you interrupt your opponent at the right moment, you essentially turn off all their effects they have, essentially stopping them from kind of keep going with their plays, and then getting rid of a problem card. Or you could just use it to get rid of cards that are hard to deal with. If you're in the Kashtira matchup, because a lot of Kashtira players are not fully committing to boards because of they don't want to get Nibiru'd, so they essentially leave you with they don't take up all your zones, so you have enough zones to get monsters, get 4 monsters out, use your Stinger Era or whatever they have to get a Underworld of the Closed Goddess, open your zones up and do your plays that way. So I really feel like Underworld Goddess of the Closed World would be a very nice card, very something that'll catch a lot of people off guard that they're not ready to deal with. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Thanks, thanks very much for stopping by. If you like the content we do here, please feel free to like, subscribe. If not, it is all cool. Good luck if you're going to the YCS. Good luck out your locals. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.